Transient stacker asks if I plan to sell my stack all in one go, a little at a time, or never. So we've got an interesting topic to talk you through today. I've got a few sovereigns that we'll take a look at as well. I've got here 2 tubes of just bullion. I think there's 20 in each, and these are my Elizabeth sovereigns. So we've got the date run from, what's that, 1957 through to, I guess, 2022. So we'll take a look. There might be a couple of years missing there, but not every single year was made in the bullion coin, so you can obviously get quite a range of different coins here. And onto the topic in hand. So the first thing I would say is that with any asset that you get involved with, you really want to be able to choose your exit. Now, by that I mean choose the timing and choose the circumstances where you come to sell. So that's not always possible. For example, let's say the market tanks for the next 5 years in gold and nobody's buying sovereigns at any kind of premium, and maybe, you know, they are on a downtrend and they lose popularity. If that happens, then maybe you've got something else to sell. You know, maybe you can do something else instead of selling gold. Maybe you've got cash to rely on, for example. Maybe you just don't need to sell at all. You know, there's a few different possibilities there. But if you do need to sell, then it's ideal if you can choose your exit. Now, I personally stack gold for a bit of long-term savings. You know, it is a bit of a rainy day fund. It's not something I'm expecting to sell in the short term, you know, in the next few years. It's something I'm planning to hold on to for quite a while, and you know, for those short-term emergencies, or if things come up, you know, anything that's within a normal expectation, you know, of a rainy day, that would just be covered with, you know, funds from in the bank. It's not like I'm going to be selling gold to pay for an energy bill coming up, or, you know, something crazy like that. My weekly shop, for example, things would have to go very, very far down the pan for that to happen. So I'm not recommending, you know, stacking gold over stacking cash or anything like that today. We're purely just talking about the plans to sell. So if you've got a smaller stack, then, you know, it might be a plan to sell all in one go. That might not be too much hassle, and it could be just handy to go to a dealer, especially if you've held on for a while and the prices are now higher. So, for example, my first gold sovereigns that I bought in 2018 were around the £230 mark. So, whoops, if I was planning to sell those, then, you know, it'd be easy to go to any dealer now and get, you know, £360, £370, whatever the current spot is. So there's a huge bit of profit in there, and it might just be an easy decision. No hassle, you know, one transaction, and no dealing with sort of, you know, private markets and splitting everything up, just one transaction to a dealer. Now, if you bought more premium stuff, and perhaps stuff that's a bit harder to move, maybe you just paid more for coins, whatever it might be, or maybe you bought when the market was higher and it is now lower. It might not be such an easy decision there. Now, in terms of the stack, I do mainly stack sovereigns. You know, that's mainly what you see here. Got a beautiful old gold coin on the left and a modern coppery one on the right. But, you know, we all know which ones we prefer. Some nice designs in here, but I do just prefer the old gold colours, as I've talked about in a few prior videos. I know a lot of you share the same thoughts. The 2002 actually looks pretty good there, but yeah, nothing compared to the old George there. And yeah, when it comes to, like I say, plans to sell, if you can choose the timing, that's all good. But what happens? So as I said, you know, I mainly stack the sovereigns. I do have some other coins like 1 ounce coins. I do have some non-sovereign coins, you know, your Tudor Beast and things. But the majority is the sovereigns. Now, my stack is mostly what's been bought at best value kind of prices. So it wouldn't be, you know, a great pain to have to sell it. I do have now, you know, a growing number of coins which I've paid a premium for. You know, particularly the shields and some of the dates, just chasing the date run there that I'm definitely not doing. And so with these sort of facts in mind, I could sell a portion of the stack and therefore not have to sell it all in one go. You know, I'm getting quite attached to some of my coins. I know it's gold is gold at the end of the day, but I've paid a premium for some of the coins, and it would be nice to, you know, keep hold of them and let the collection grow over time. You know, hopefully pass it on, or whatever happens to it in the future if I would need to sell. So when we talk about our exit, you know, something to consider is liquidity. Now, if you've bought right and the price is higher, then like I say, it might be quite an easy decision. But can you actually sell what you've bought? You know, what have you been shopping for? If it is lower premium stuff, like most of mine is, then it would be quite an easy, you know, deal to make. The only issue is the volume. So you could sell on the second-hand market, and in that sense, you might be able to get a better price. You know, you might be able to get a bit more premium back for certain coins, and you might be able to sell directly to collectors rather than having to take a dealer's price, whatever that might be at the time. So if I was to sell all my sovereigns on, you know, second-hand market somewhere, that's going to be a lot of transactions. Assuming, you know, one person doesn't pop along and buy everything, there's going to be a lot of transactions and a lot of work. So it could be, you know, quite a lot of work in terms of the actual packaging, but also photos, you know, making a listing, finding a platform at the time. There's quite a few things to consider there, and could be a good way of bringing in a younger family member to help, you know, get them to perhaps get their first little job on the go, and then teach them about tax by taking half of what I pay them at the end of it. You know, could be a great learning experience for a young person and, you know, a trusted family member. But, you know, realistically, it is a lot of work to pack everything, take all the payments, you know, share the details everywhere. Might not be the kind of hassle you want to consider having. So if I was forced to sell, I would imagine that, you know, if it was an expense that couldn't be covered with available money in the bank, I'm not really sure what kind of circumstance it could be, but there could be a lot of rainy days, it could be a whole rainy season, and you just never know, they could last for quite some time.